ladies and gentlemen and graduates, and welcome to the University of Northampton's summer graduation ceremony. The ceremony is about to start. Can I ask you please to ensure that you've switched off your mobile phones, and if you wish to film the ceremony or take photographs, please remain in your seats and be considerate of the people sitting around you. Now, if I can please ask you to be upstanding for the procession. Thank you.
By the authority of the Board of Governors and Senate, I declare open this congregation for the conferment of an honorary doctorate and academic awards. Please sit down. Today, we are recognising students who have completed their awards in the School of Science and Technology. But also, we have some very special guests with us today, and I'd like to welcome Dr. Salah Al-Tamimi, the Ambassador, Republic of Iraq, Professor Hassan Al-Alak, the Cultural Attaché, Professor Adel Al-Baghdadi, the President of the University of Babylon, and academics from the University of Babylon, Iraq. I'm very pleased to present to you a short film.
It's been 30 years since I left here, a fresh-faced young graduate taking that big step forward into the world. 30 years has allowed for a lot to change, and in many ways, the grounds I walk now are completely different from the ones I left.
Looking at the University of Northampton today, it's hard to imagine that it only gained full university status just over 10 years ago. And this amalgamation of training colleges has achieved a lot over the years, in spite of its youth, nurturing innovative minds and continually developing into the future.
Northampton has inspired me and transformed my life in ways I never thought possible, and it's still doing that to this day. For those who came before me, for those who have followed me, and for those still yet to come.
The inspiration that drives our ability to transform lives and promote positive change is down to those who pass through these halls. Our graduates are at the heart of who we are. from where we draw our energy, our character. And although the years they spend here are few, the impression they leave lingers, their legacy living on to fuel the generations that follow them. Their strengths become our strengths, their achievements, our achievements. And there really is no greater feeling than knowing that we had such a large part to play in the successes of our graduates, wherever they may be.
I had no idea that when I came here I'd be guided onto a path to become a district judge. But that's what the university excels at, helping you to take that first step. I've grown a lot during the past 3 decades, but I know where my roots lay, and that's right here at Northampton. And joining countless others, I'm proud to be part of that legacy.
So even though you've gone on to do great things and shape the world, a part of you will always stay here with us. So for those of you we've welcomed into our life and seen off into the future, here's to you. I call upon Mrs. Rachel Garwood to present the Honorary Doctor.
Vice-Chancellor, insofar as the Board of Governors and Senate of the University have seen fit to establish honorary doctorates to confer on eminent individuals, I today present to the Chairman, Christine Powley-Williams, who the Board of Governors and Senate have determined to confer such an award.
My association with the university starts from being the place where I actually studied leather technology. I was just fascinated with anything that's made, the whole thing of taking a skin and actually going through that whole transformation into a really beautiful piece of leather. That's sort of what captured me. Technically, leather isn't leather until you've tanned a hide. The skill of the tanner really is to take that raw material and to work with it and to understand it, and actually you can produce so many things. I started off working in a tannery in the UK, got the opportunity to move to Australia, working there for a number of years, and I ended up coming back to the UK. I've now been over 30 years in the industry. I've never been out of a job, thankfully, when I've needed a job. I've always had something different to do, and I think that's what keeps it fresh. It's also led into lots of other things that I would never have imagined. It's been a constantly changing journey, and if I'm being honest, I don't think I planned any of it. You always need change. You always need to have bright, intelligent, forward-thinking people, and the graduates that have come through the University of Northampton are exactly that. The last 10, 15 years, I've been an industrial visitor where I will come and meet with the students and help them to give feedback on the different things that are affecting their day-to-day life in the university. My message to the graduates would be, just keep persevering. As graduates from the University of Northampton, you've already got something in your favour, that qualification that you're walking away with today. Anybody who knows the industry, if they're looking for a place to study, it would always be top of the list.
Chairman, in accordance with the decision of the Board of Governors and Senate, I present to you Christine Powley-Williams that you may confer an honorary doctorate.
By the authority of the Board of Governors and Senate, I confer upon you this honorary doctorate and welcome you back to the university.
Thank you very much. Well, good morning, Vice-Chancellor, honourable guests, and particularly today's graduands. You've got a great future. I'm really looking forward to seeing you later in the day. But, you know, I've been here, done that. But I was really, really shocked when a few months ago, Professor Covington called me and said, "Oh, I want to meet with you. What have I done wrong? We're going to make you an honorary doctor." And it's such a privilege. Actually, I was speechless. That's quite, for those who know me well, would find that, you know, quite a difficult thing to imagine. But there's lots and lots of things. I've got lots of things I'd like to say, and I've only got a few minutes, so I'm going to try and be quick. But very first things at the moment, you know, we're in a funny world at the moment. The world seems to be a bit of an uncomfortable place. And I think if anybody wants to see the real benefit of living in a multicultural society, a multicultural world, you could do no harm in spending a day at the University of Northampton with the leather students. They come from so many diverse backgrounds, so many different cultures. When I was a student 32 years ago now, there were 30 different nationalities even then. And to this day, I've retained so many friends internationally. And the one thing I want to say to everybody here today, never ever underestimate the power of friendship. Lots of things can go wrong in your life, but true friends will take you through your life in a way that you will never ever realise. And on that basis, I really wanted to take a bit of a moment and introduce my guests, because there's a reason I've chosen my guests today. They've all had a big impact in my working life and personal life. And I'm going to start off actually with my sister Gwyneth and my brother-in-law Graham, who've supported me for many, many years through my leather career and my general life. But you know what? It's not always been like that. At 14, I said to my sister, "Oh, I'm going to be a tanner. I think I'm going to be a leather technologist." And she was horrified. So you know what she did? She took me to a local tannery to make sure that I saw how awful it was going to be and I'd never ever want to do this silly job. Well, obviously she failed. So thank you, Gwyneth, but you tried hard. So the next step on the way, well, around the same time, I thought, well, I better go and find out a bit more about the industry. And I actually came to the Leather Centre, and I met the head of the Leather Centre at the time, Peter Element. So Peter's here today. He's known me through thick and thin. Fine, you're going to come as a student. And what happens? I failed every single one of my A-levels. That's not a great thing to admit to, but it's what happened. And you know what? I went to see Peter. I was quite distraught at the time. And he said, "Look, for goodness sake," he said, "just get something. Can you get, ideally, chemistry, but if you can't..." And anyway, I ended up with an A-level in physics. And he said, "Right, come and take the chemistry exams and I'll let you get in if you pass the chemistry exams." So actually, Peter is more than anybody else responsible for the fact I'm standing here today. And so it was only fitting that he would be here with me at this point. Having joined the college as it was in those days, the leather students have their own internal club called the Corium Club. It's part of the leather. And my next guest is Kim, who was the chairman of the Corium Club when I first joined. He was a year above me, and he was the one who got me roped in and has been my dear friend ever since. And then the following year, I became the first female chairperson or chairman of the Corium Club. So that goes back a long time. We then start moving on. I've worked in various tanneries. I worked in the UK, worked in Australia. And then I spent a time at a leather research organisation where I actually met Rachel, who's behind me here, and I've met my other dear friends, Yvonne, Ian and Amanda. Now, Ian, we've known each other a long time, and we used to sit on different production committees together. And Amanda and I, we were both pregnant together with our first, our sons, and bear in mind they're now 25, I think that says something. Yvonne also worked at the same organisation. Now, Yvonne is my official hanger-on. She actually came from she was a PA to the chief exec actually, so she's not really a leather person, but she's always been there by my side at any leather event. And so today she has to be my official hanger-on. That's her job. So during my career, though, there came a point with myself and Amanda where, you know, middle-aged men, they sort of, you know, go a bit mad, go off and get a motorbike and do stupid things. Well, middle-aged women were a bit different. And we said, well, it's about time for a change. So let's set up our own business, which, of course, when you did that just before the economy crashed, was really, a really sensible thing to do. But there was another part to it as well. We needed some money. Now, I'm a great believer in education. And when my children were born, I started putting a little bit of money aside each month. So if they wanted to go to university, I got the money to do it. Well, at this point, I said to my two children, what do you think about me spending your university fund to set up a business? And they, both of them, said, yeah, Mum, go for it. And that's where myself and Amanda said, 10 years, it's 10 years birthday now for Leatherwise, and it's still going strong. And I'm very proud to the fact that myself and Amanda started that business. And that brings me then to my children, because both my son and my daughter have now both done degrees, and I'm extremely proud of them. I've felt what it's like to be a parent, I've felt what it's like to be here, and, you know, it's wonderful as you watch your own children and as they develop into adults, and I'm sure all the parents here today, you know, I feel proud for you as well, because as you watch your sons and daughters, I know exactly what it feels like. It's a fantastic feeling to see your children, you know, studying and working hard and then having that achievement recognised. There's only two people that are missing, actually, and unfortunately, they're not with me anymore, and that's my mum and dad. Now, my dad passed away a long time ago, and his interest in leather was a little bit ropey. He once came home and said, oh, I must show you my new leather jacket I've bought. And when I was a bit upset when I said, actually, Dad, you know what, it's a rip-off. And then he told me he'd bought it from a car boot in a service station, and I thought, well, that explains it all, doesn't it? So his leather knowledge wasn't so great. But my mum was a bit different. Now, mum only passed away a few months ago before I heard that I'd had this award. And she's followed my leather career all the way through. In fact, the embarrassing photographs that were in that video, I found them in my mum's box of bits after we were sorting a house out. She loved the leather students. I remember one Christmas we had a student from Afghanistan, a student from Turkey, and a student from Egypt all came for Christmas dinner. And the following year we had two from Zimbabwe. And really, all along, she just loved that leather life that I was involved with. And essentially has been by my side all the way through it. So today, obviously, I'm very sad that she's not here, but I know she is. So really, I'm going to end now because it'll get taken away. But I just want to say, you know, congratulations to everybody here. Thank you so much to those who have thought fit to actually allow me the honour of being here. And I just wish everybody all the best in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Christine. I call upon Mr. John Sinclair to present the successful candidates from the School of Science and Technology.
Vice-Chancellor, on behalf of the School of Science and Technology, I present to you those candidates who have been awarded degrees, diplomas and certificates. Doctor of Philosophy for successfully defending a thesis entitled Non-Destructive Testing of Rails, Sam Brugeni. Doctor of Philosophy for successfully defending a thesis entitled Modelling and Prediction of the Effects of Dynamic Responses of Tall Buildings on an Elevator System, RAFAEL SANCHEZ CRESPO. Master of Science in Lift Engineering, Marwan Haddad. Postgraduate Certificate, Victors Malovs Mazalevs. Bachelor of Arts Joint Award in Web Design, Steve Das. Carmel Edwards. Abigail Lumley. Meluleki Sabanda. Jordan Smith. Stephanie Sorensen. Bachelor of Engineering in Computing, Computer Network Engineering, Kasak Abdul Hussain. Hassan Abu Dihin. Mohammed Al-Jamil. Muthana Alalaki. Adian Al-Kahfaji. Haura Al-Kafaji. Hussein Al-Khazraji. Murtaja Al-Saidi. Duane Caitlin Crooks. Stephen Hall. Winner of the British Computer Society Prize for Best Final Year Student, William Hoorer Mackay. Ibrahim Naji Jassim. Valmi Lukombo. Winner of the Her Majesty's Government Communications Centre Prize for the Best Final Year Dissertation, Rayam Marjan. Zahra Marjan. Mohammed Mohammed. Noor Mohammed Ali. Diyar Muhyi. Robert Mujinski. Shannon Odell. Davis Uludari. Glenn Yemo. Bachelor of Engineering in Computing, Computer Systems Engineering, Oluwagbemiga Asaulu. Thomas Doxey. Emmanuel Ofori Atta. Bachelor of Engineering in Electromechanical Engineering, Daniel Apps. Nathan Tung. Bachelor of Science Joint Award in Business Computing, Mulenga Kawimbe. Salim Tobi Zubir. Bachelor of Science in Computing Systems, Patrick Botting. Tony Edwards. Peter McAllister. Suad McFarlane. Jake Munn. Ricky Sadlier. Francesca Salau. Rashika Srivastava. Mehdi Saeed. Alistair Thomas. Justin Walensky. Bachelor of Science in Business Computing Systems, Abdul Ahad. Nene Bari. George Bell. Liviu George Bushyok. Mohammed Chowdhury. Mahai Gita. Jamie Hall. Mohammed Shahidul Islam. Yassine Kassam. Billy Love. Latif Olabode Adegbite. Anna Pop. Daniela Popescu. Radu Porfiriu. Curtis Powell. Hassan Rage. Chantel Russell. Civil Engineering, Aidan Chapman. Murat Dagdeverin. John Harwood. James Hennell. Mohammed Hussain. Richard Igalo. Sorry? No, no. It's okay. Hubert Kadzutu. Lewis Linde. Andrew Matiba. Shane Melwani. Lee Zuwao. Bachelor of Science in Computer Games Development, West Midlands Regional winner of the UK Games Talent Transfer Award as part of the team Max Rank Studios, Moses Atta. Jack Brooksby. Also winner of the West Midlands Regional UK Games Talent Transfer Award as part of Team Max Rank Studios, Seng Chan. Angelo Fasolo. Mark Rolfe. James Young. Bachelor of Science in Computing, Aaron Amioni. Remus Andor. Sean Burke. Jack Groves. Wasim Ikram. David Lambert. Jordi Mbungu. Peter Mills. Ellis Morgan. Ivan Smith. Lewis Tracy.